All right, I'm gonna do a little summer cocktail window chat. This is actually some of that strawberry syrup that I made. Little potato schnapps, a little bit of splash of lemon juice, and a bit of water because that strawberry syrup is really, really sweet. And then it's actually a glass from a friend of mine's brewing company. He's not fully public yet, but he makes a killer beer. All right, so I figured I would just show you really quick what is going into my fall garden. This isn't everything because I'm going to be direct sowing some of it, but let's start over here. This one here, let me move my lights out of the way. This is labeled as the cross countries, which are a cucumber, and I cannot believe how good they're doing. They're only about 7 to 8 days old. And then on this side, I have my cucamelons, and you can barely see that little sucker right there. These are actually, cucamelons are hard to grow, so getting that started early was my only shot. I've got some more sugar snaps. As you can tell by the curling leaves here, definitely sugar snaps, but we love our sugar snap peas, so we're doing a second round of those. This is dill, but that's not dill. That is the sugar snap pea, so something must have gotten a little mixed up in that. And dill doesn't germ unless it's in sun, so this one back here is supposed to be dill too, but as you can see, nothing's popping yet. It kind of looks like something popping, but that's just my camera playing tricks on you. And then this I labeled as lettuce. I did, but it's actually cabbage. Too much potato schnapps maybe that day. Over here we've got cilantro, and I've never successfully grown cilantro. So we're trying it for, I think, the 4th time this year. Right behind that, I've got another cilantro. Wish me luck. Yeah, you know it's not going to happen though. I've got thyme here. I've actually got one little thyme. One little booger right there. Like I said, that one is dill. I've got my Brussels sprouts in here. And I think Doug and I both planted sprouts, so we might end up with like 10, I think, Brussels sprout plants, which would be okay because it's our favorite vegetable. And then here, I have no idea what that is. It looks like some sort of pumpkin. Oh, sketty squash, which is great because my sketty squash back there wasn't producing females. So that's nice. And this one here, and maybe somebody else will know, but this is a pumpkin, but it did this really weird thing. It just popped this little thing here, and all of these sprouts came out the sides. These were really old seeds. Get this out of the way and maybe you can see it better. You see that? It just sprouted this one little thing up here, and then it's got all of these roots spreading down below. This is a 4-cell, and I've got 3 more planted, and they're not doing anything. So, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Then over here, we've got, kajari melons. Those are from Baker Creek seeds, so hopefully we'll actually get some melons. I have some planted out there. They're not doing so good. Once again, not sure why, first year growing them. This looks like some sort of melon. Oh, it's a butternut squash. We love our winter squash around here. We love how long it lasts, and I love how it tastes, so we're pretty excited about getting some more of those. And this here is the sprouts. As you can see, I have no sprouts in my sprouts. Stupid. Here are 2 tomato, what are they called? Honey, there's a hummingbird outside. Honey, there's a hummingbird. Never mind, flew away. What's it called when you pinch off a tomato thingy? Thank you. Okay. These are tomato suckers, actually. that we took off of some heirloom plants, threw in some water. They've been in the water for about a week now. Having a little lighting issue. There we go. They've been in the water for about a week now, and they grew sprouts, and we're hoping to get a couple more heirlooms out of these. If you're wanting to get tomatoes during the fall, the best way to do it is take the suckers off of your current tomato plants and plant them like this. And then you get a huge head start into your next garden. And here's just another one. It's the same. It's not the same plant, but it's just another sucker. And this here, oh look, I have a little sprout. Oh, these are the slicers. And so I've got one little guy popping up there. There you go. And so this is what we do with our starts when we start them in the spring, when we start them in the fall. This is actually our first time fall gardening, so we'll have that. But we use these bendable arm lights. The wattage is not that high, so that's why in the beginning of the video you saw I have them very close to the plants. And because this window doesn't actually receive too much sun, I turn these on during the day and let them get a little extra light. And this is how we do it. These are red and blue lights, so they do glow that purple. You can't really tell, but there you go. So they grow that purple, or I'm sorry, they glow that purple. And they're all spectrum, so they do have all the light sources that any vegetable needs to grow. What we're learning is we picked these up at a just like some off-brand store. It was called It's Five. It was a pop-up store. I won't get into it, but we had no knowledge of what they were, what wattage they were, if they were all spectrum, or what exactly we were getting into. So these were going to be our trial and error lights. Well, I used them to grow over the winter, this past winter, and they worked okay. And we did notice that we have to get closer to the plants because they're not putting enough wattage out, and it's a very technical, very in-depth thing to use grow lights indoors, and each plant needs something different. So if you want to get into this, do a ton of research, and I suggest getting the all spectrum or complete spectrum white bulbs instead of these purple ones. And that's just simply because, you know, like you really don't want purple light glowing from your windows at all hours of the day and night. It just doesn't look good, especially in the day and age that we're in now. And I just personally think that the color of the bulbs can sometimes affect the taste of the plant, especially if it's a leafy plant like lettuce and cabbage. So this is, I think we're about 7 to 8 days into this garden, with the exception of our tomatoes. And we started our fall garden, and we won't be taking these out for quite some time. It's just too hot for the majority of these, with the exception, once again, of the tomatoes, because you know they love their heat. Well, thanks for watching, and if you have any idea what's going on with this pumpkin plant, I would greatly appreciate a comment or any way to save it. These are my last 4 seeds of this particular pumpkin, so I was really hoping for one to pop so I could harvest the new seeds and keep them for next year. Well, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and I'll holler at you next time. The other day we were taking a little tour of what's going in the fall garden, and I wondered what this was. Well, check it out. It's growing upside down. That's still the seed that it's trying to pop out of, and that's the root system. It completely pushed out of the ground today. Isn't that nuts? It was just like this.